At least I'm back to full energy. Thank God. Now I feel like I'd actually make it through this trial. Don't worry, Max. I'll prove that this innocence of yours is more than just a pure magic trick. Sure, let's go with that.
Good morning, Max.
Oh, yeah, good morning, sweeties.
You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today.
I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina!
Oh, fabulous! My sweetie pie princess! You care to watch my performance today?
Of course I did. Mel told me that I should come and watch this.
Mo said that?
So, what kind of rewards will you put on today? Let me guess. You'll fly at the end?
It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties?
Huh?
I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is.
Well, Max, looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience.
That's fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
I can't think of a good inflection for her. Whatever.
Regina's different, don't you think, Nick?
Top of the morning to you. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go?
Mo?
Top of the morning to you, Governor.
Top of the morning.
That's the ticket. The talk of the day starts with energy in the morning. The only bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Okay. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk. Oh my, thanks. So, how are you today, right?
Well, I've got the feeling that today I'll go to face off against the real culprit.
You mean Acro?
Huh? You think he did it?
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line. Literally. He's got guts to spare.
If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses.
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today will just have to do with our usual psychological warfare. Today, we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro and to the truth.
You're right. That's going to be tough.
Anyway, I wanted to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father.
Ah,
You want us to make sure Regina watches?
Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars.
do you mean that figuratively or literally? Not gonna worry about that. Well, looks like the circus is about to be granted an even bigger show than they could have thought possible. So welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. This is your host, the MJ406. It's time to finally solve this mystery on who killed the Ringmaster.
Goes down censor for the trial of Maximilian Galactica!
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We have discovered a new witness, or should I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. So you're actually going with that theory now, huh?
Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up.
Due to this provision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation of the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor Gumshoe. He really just gets shat on every time.
Very well. Please call your witness to the stand.
Time to get to work. Or should I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. And here he is. Acro. Name and occupation.
Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus.
Where were you the night of the crime?
I was in my room that night.
You pretty much just staying there, huh? If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene.
My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window.
The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you saw, witness?
Okay. Get on with it!
My throat's getting dry still. Come on, people. Let's get this trial moving.
It was just over 10 p.m., and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window.
And the shadow, like he told us.
Then, a few months later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming.
I can see why you'd think that, though.
This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown.
If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Hang on a second. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. You bitch!
Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony?
In the words of Ms. Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened.
Very well. You may proceed with the cross-examination. Man, I was just going to straightforward testimony for once in my life.
Don't worry, Judge. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. So, let's see exactly what you saw and how you saw it last night. You said you were resting in bed. One would thus assume that you turned the lights off in your room, correct?
That's correct. But there are safety lights around the outside of the lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains?
About that. Maybe he likes it.
I never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Oh!
The witness will proceed with his testimony.
Come on, I'm just trying to be a friend!
Sorry, Judge, we don't have the time for them to go over frickin' curtains for a disabled man. No offense. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right?
Yes.
And you said that you were resting in bed.
That is correct.
But you were still able to hear a sound from outside?
I was indeed.
Pressing Aggro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory to what he said just now. I don't know. Probably not.
What's the matter, Mr. Wright?
Nothing, Your Honor. As long as I find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. And she's waiting for me to make a moment. She's trying to wait for me to move too soon. I gotta be careful. Are you sure it was a human being? It could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure.
Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin, an action figure is plausible.
You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as if we were there with you that night.
I believe it was a human.
Damn! I'm speaking of this testimony. Wonder if her statement jives with the facts. Oh no.
What's the matter, Mr. Wright?
Nothing. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly. I gotta really think about it. Oh, I saw him from behind. The light in your room was turned off then, right?
That's true. I was going to bed after all.
So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? Wouldn't that help?
The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body.
Oh! There's a contradiction.
I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica.
The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. Maybe there was something fishy with his latest bit of testimony. So you got a fish for a statement that he comes up with something wrong, like he did here. There is a huge contradiction in the testimony that was just given. Oh, come on. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right, but she's some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of a contradiction?
He said he saw the hat, but you claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that?
What do you mean?
The silk hat.
What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window.
Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night.
That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me.
Well, that's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found the scene.
That's the Ringmaster's hat, right?
The Ringmaster's hat? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats?
No! This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica, which means Acro. You've been fibbing on the stand! So he said he saw the hat, huh?
Order! Order!
As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking.
Are you okay, Nick?
Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up.
How about Mr. Wright? What caused this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
Should I go for it right away? Sure. It's the only thing that makes sense of these. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion?
Accuses Acro? What are you accusing him of?
Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Oh, I feel like I jumped the gun on this, though.
Mr. Wright, are you serious?
Deadly serious, Your Honor. Ha ha ha. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Yeah? Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He is very calm about it. He's calm enough for it to be almost scary. A little bit. I can agree with that. He is staying rather calm and collected. Hey, could you not do that? That's really annoying.
Mr. Dingley, do you have any response to the defense's accusation?
I don't really need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
Well, that's true.
I understand Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. Oh no, you're playing the guilt card! See? Even a sliver of common sense makes it clear that the accusation is ludicrous. Wow, way to make me look bad. Jeez, right, way to pick on disabled, you heartless cruel man. This is a booby head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support for the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well? I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice.
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice?
I mean... I don't know. To the murder? Maybe not. But... I kind of want to say the monkey, but... That's just bringing him stuff, not really specifically for murder? Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. What? Nope. You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright?
Ha ha! There was no accomplice. Acro Planet committed this murder all by himself. Whew. Good thing I dodged a bullet there. The monkey just does it on his own, not specifically for murder.
Order! Order! What are you getting at?
Way to keep them on their toes, Nick.
Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry.
Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that?
I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed.
All right, then let's do it.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, if this witness is a killer, his eyewitness account is all lies, correct?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingley?
I mean, don't worry. He was still in his room. No need to worry about that. He was obviously here the entire time.
That's Acro's room?
Pretty simple, huh? I wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there could be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. What? Are you nuts?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
Still no reaction, huh? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Really? That's all you have to say? Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. So you say.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor?
as the witnesses stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer.
You've got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime.
That's true.
Although,
Also, that he saw Max, didn't he?
it was more just his getup, though, right? You only saw him on the back. As did Acro, apparently. But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly.
Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright?
What is it?
I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume.
How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet.
Be careful, Nick. You mess up here.
She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the Ringmaster, and he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it.
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingley committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
Do I have evidence? I mean, I don't know. Didn't I have something like... No. This. This is something that has his hat, so that could substitute, maybe. I should probably try. I'm going to present some evidence.
So when did Mr. Dingley used to commit the crime of murder against Russell Mary?
I would think it would be this bust.
What's that? A picture?
It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust?
It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy? Heavy enough to guarantee a certain depth, especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. Ah! Ooh, looks like I'm finding it. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactus' ample bust. Ah, that wouldn't make sense.
Order! Order! So you're saying the bust belonged to the Ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. Or you wouldn't think so? How do you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, he is pretty strong over body strength-wise. He is an acrobat after all. He is acro, as part of it. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like the bust.
Mr. Dingley, how do you respond to these charges?
He's getting angry.
Well,
I was at a loss for words.
He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. So, well, Acro. You can't run away with... Ow! What the hell? I'd watch what I'd say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. He is disabled. Oh, come on! What? Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
testimony you say?
Von Karma! She's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall her time! I won't let you! There's absolutely no need for such testimony! Oh, yeah? The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled.
Damn it! Why can't you see things my way once in a while?
Mr. Dingley, I'm sorry, but we need to testify about your physical condition. If any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you.
Ah, that woman will stick to any load to win a case. Gonna make me look like a bad guy going after a disabled person. What the fuck? Now making me look like a total dickhead. Come on.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of the bust. I have a stronger body from working as an acrobat and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
That is actually a pretty good theory.
I've no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more severe injuries.
That's what I was thinking. What's your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed by cross-examination. He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really. You're the one who's stalling! I can't let her get to me. I've got to focus. So, maybe I can find something up with this statement as well. I mean, yeah, your legs would be injured, but you are still pretty strong. Even without the sense of balance your legs, so all you really use a wheelchair, which you've had 6 months in. You should be able to figure that out, right? Like, seriously, he is pretty strong being an acrobat and all that. Have you ever lifted up the bus before?
No, I've never actually lifted it up with my own 2 hands. I should get to it, don't you think? I can't let money outdo me on this.
But money? That crazy monkey's lifted Max's bus before? Interesting to know that. That feels like it's important.
Please consider your testimony, Mr. Dingling.
Anyway, I guess we'll keep going. Well, your legs were injured. Lifting the bust and looking out the window would be impossible. That's what you think, huh? That's what you think? And why is that?
Because if I were to do that, I'd end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet.
So you're gonna throw that bust out of the window? I guess not. Well, I could exert that kind of force on my lower body. Yeah, that is true. It's pretty much dead weight. Still, how long do you think your recovery will take?
You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm further undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's going to take a while before I'm back to 100%.
We'll remind you another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out below the window. That he wouldn't. Makes it possible for him to know the location. Yeah, I do wonder about that. Why do you say it would be impossible?
Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window? Thus, there's no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head.
Well, I suppose you got a point.
Hey, Nick,
Huh?
why don't you turn things around? Maybe think of it sort of like this. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust.
It does make sense. Well, I could prove it somehow. Well, I could prove that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. He's smarter than he looks. And he does look pretty smart already.
I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Must be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think?
Still, let me just make sure before I go diving in. If all you had to do was drop it, then it wouldn't have been a problem at all.
If all I had to do was drop it, you were right. I could have done that. However, there's no way that I could land a direct hit on the ringmaster's head. So that kind of makes your theory a bit pointless, doesn't it, Mr. Wright?
Acro's strong enough to lift up the bust.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for the ringmaster's head.
Wonder if we use some kind of tool to aim for the ringmaster.
That's the thing, Nick. Show them what we've got.
I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the case.
I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. I mean, we overlooked something.
I think I know what it is. You need to find the location of the head. So, remember that there was a box there that the victim was hunched over, indicating that was there before the victim got killed. So,
Objection!
the box is the key! Ha ha! Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you?
What are you driving at, Mr. Wright?
You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling! How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting!
Yes! Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright!
Okay, fine. Maybe you should take a look at this. It's this box. Remember the photo? The key point here is the wooden box.
The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over?
The same. Excuse me. The question is, who placed the wooden box here?
Who?
Yep. When Ben and Company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime.
I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box,
there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim? No! You got a defense for that one?
Order! This is unbelievable!
Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go over here. Forward.
I want to go backwards. So the next question I have is, who placed the wooden box in the sink?
It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow! Oh, come on, that was logical. I'm gonna whip some sense into you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Ow! Stop! Ow! The Ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. It was the weight, not the content. It was heavy. The box had a remarkable weight. Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds.
Just to live with this one box would have required...
Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, would you say?
Kind of hard to lift just your hands out squatting down, I would say, especially how low it was. That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box also has carry handles on the other side, doesn't it?
That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool! You're the fool here. Or you're talking about your little acrobat in the wheelchair guy there. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore?
I've heard what you had to say.
Oh, that's nice.
I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wood box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I can never have done what he's proposing.
Wait, what?
Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Axe's bust?
Yeah, I remember it. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria.
Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
Ah, that means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room?
Damn! It's a very good point. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Ah! Shit. That's unfortunate. I pinned myself down. Tells exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. But this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all.
All right, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room?
Well, if we look back at the bust, isn't it pretty shiny? And it's a shiny thing, and somebody was able to lift it before. So, this is a perfect time.
A monkey?
Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist ring.
So, are you saying that the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Haha.
Home?
Money lives in Acro's room.
Acro's room?
Yeah, but the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Yeah, but maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record.
Damn! Boy, those are some very nice cards he's holding.
Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. How do we know just from looking at it? Wah! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room.
If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate.
At least you admit it. That's very thoughtful of you.
Order! Order! I said order! Miss Montcarva! Where's the bust in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. You still haven't found it?
This is a rather strange turn of events. Well, let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then?
Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon.
Wait! Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon? Purely by accident?
It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Haha! Anyways, yeah, he could have just used a tuba, I guess. I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! You're the moron for not actually looking into this.
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that.
Ow! That don't seem so bamboozled. especially by this fraud of an attorney. How dare you? Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix, right? And what is that? You should know! You forgot that your fraud of a magical clown was spotted at the scene of the crime! Ah! About that, there's no reason to doubt this clown's testimony.
Well, that's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let her beat you now.
I won't! This is my chance to turn this trial around! When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. Yes, one was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw?
Take that!
I think it was the bust. That's the only way it could explain that. The fact is, ow! I asked who was the other person Mo saw the scene. You didn't even let me finish. That evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Objection!
You think that? Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. And well, but he not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. Just a silhouette the bust could cover for it. Ha-ha!
How is that possible?
It's civil, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak! That it was. And the bust does not have it. There's no reason why you could attach a cloak to the bust. I mean, it would be easy to hang one off the cards of the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? It doesn't matter who put it on the bust!
Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance in this case. Don't you agree?
Oh! Now he caught me.
So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust?
Now that's the tough one. Now, wasn't Russell Berry going out in his uniform? Maybe? Fool! Him?
Don't say it was the victim himself, Russell Berry.
That's what I'm saying. I'm crazy, I know. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Placed the cloak isn't exactly the right way of putting it.
What would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself.
Nick, you really have a handle on all this?
I'm fine, Maya. I'm fine at putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. It's stupid, but it's gotta work. All right. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time.
That's not necessary.
Okay. Agro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached the rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than the ventriloquist and his puppet, Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. But well, now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, it grabbed the cloak like that. Voila! That's the true magic trick, my friends. Wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? There's more. Yeah. The cloak latched on him. The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with a cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that was the flying act, my friends! Isn't it lovely when all these coincidences come together to an amazing murder? And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. Well, What do you guys think of my story? Pretty good, huh? So, you see, the only person who could pull this off was Acro. It's the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro! It could only have been you! Whew. That was a lot to take in. I'm not gonna lie. That was a lot.
Agro's been playing mind games with all of us.
He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So? What now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
You have a point. In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. I don't know about that second one, but yeah, evidence is important.
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well.
That's more important than the whip, I would say.
Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Nick, they say they want evidence.
I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. There's still something unusual at Moe's eyewitness account.
Unusual?
A contradiction, actually.
Okay then, use that get out of this jam.
Really?
That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the tricks in this magic case.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Hard proof that I've unraveled the trick. Will this Grand Prix proto actually be useful, or is that just to get people to actually understand it? To the murder. You haven't forgotten I have it 6 months ago, have you? Conclusion of what took place. Meet me at the 10 p.m. tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. I don't know if that's hard proof, though. Hard proof. Like actual physical proof. That this is the way it had to be done. Is it the hat, per se? It's the part that's a contradiction. Would it be the hat? Maybe? It's definitely not the poster here. Well, this hasn't been useful, has it? Whoa, this is a tough one. Man, I really want to get through this without making any mistakes. I really do. Yeah, the feather's on his cap there. Could it be the bottle? Oh, no, not the bottle. I think it's the hat, because that was there, but he didn't see that. Maybe? Let's try it. The problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses.
The symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings.
Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Moe's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. Well, the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust's. That's what I figured.
Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of.
That's right. Fine, you've got one. What about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what the ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white rose on Max's chest that night. The clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I can see you trying to explain that one away.
Can you do it, Nick?
Oh, yeah. Of course. I explained all of it. What was that? Please recall the incident when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? They were on the bust, they were on the cloak, but got covered up because they were what got snagged onto the cards. That's how that worked. Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Moe didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Nobody could have seen that shit coming, especially me.
Order! Order!
So, Judge, you had enough yet? Do you agree with me yet?
This is quite a shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while, see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. then maybe Valkarma will finally throw in the towel.
Well, they don't seem fazed by anything I've done so far, which is the worrying thing.
Well, so much for that theory.
Mr. Wright, do you mind?
What is it?
You took the time to research our circus, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did. There's something making you think that I didn't?
If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Why is that? Motive. Well, this witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. You're right. He loves the master. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Shit. Yeah, that's a very good point. I can't even make a rebuttal on that one. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now.
But what do we do? There's no denying Acro with respect to the ringmaster.
Acro's motive. I wonder about that.
It seems this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break.
Thank you. I was hoping for that.
I will listen to the rest of Mr. Digling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Yes, you do that, Judge. Whew. Good. I'm perfect so far. Excellent. That's what I was hoping for, because I want to show off something funny towards the end. Because this case is crazy. I do like the ending of this case, I will say. It's very interesting and kind of heartening. It's kind of sad. But it's I like it for what it is. It's very nice. Gentle to the soul. Well, kind of cruel to it as well. Well, anyway, we're starting to see exactly how Acro murdered him. All that's left is to see why. Or, yeah, why would he want to? But it doesn't sound obvious, does it? But don't worry, next time we come back, we're going to solve this trial, get Acro acquitted, and get Max off the hook as we prove exactly why Acro did what he did. It doesn't seem obvious now, but actually it does. Either way, there should be a reason a certain topic hasn't come up in this court case yet. Don't worry, we're going to get there soon enough.